In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I did this very simple and pretty fall nail art. If you would like to see how I did it, just keep watching. So to start out, I am using the Young Nails Protein Bond. I'm doing mostly at the tips of this client's nails. She does type for a living and works quite a bit. This is just going to help make sure her polish stays on a little bit longer. Then I'm going to go in with a base coat. This one that I'm using is the Young Nails Gel Base Coat, and I just get all 10 fingers and put them in the light for a full 60 seconds. To start out on the pinky, I'm going to use a darker orange. This one is called Guilty Pleasure and it is by D&D. I'm just starting out with my first layer, making sure I get everything covered, and I do a nice thin coat so it can cure properly in the light. And then for the ring finger and middle finger, I'm going to use another orange that is slightly lighter. This one is also by D&D, and I will put the name of this one in the description box below. Again, just doing a nice thin layer and making sure I have all full coverage. And then back to the darker orange is what I'm going to use for the pointer and the thumb. When everything is all done, I put this in the lamp for a full 60 seconds. Next, I'm going to go back through and do a second layer of polish on all 10 fingers. And this is just going to make sure that everything is completely covered and the pigment of everything is going to look very even. But when I get to the middle finger, I'm going to make sure that I add my glitter before I put anything into the lamp, and this will help keep it kind of staying put. So when it comes to adding the glitter to this fingernail, you see me kind of move her other finger out of the way to make sure I don't accidentally get some on there. But then I'm just going to use an extra fluffy brush that I have and kind of sprinkle it over the whole nail and get as much coverage as I can. And then I'll go in and start tapping into the spots that aren't covered. This way, if I start tapping it into the polish directly with the brush, I'm not moving the polish around or getting a lot of that gel polish stuck into my brush either. So after all of the fingers are finished and covered with the second coat, they do go into the lamp for a full 60 seconds. So after everything has been cured, I'm coming back to the ring finger and a striper brush. And because this one is the lighter color orange, I'm going to just use the darker color and just draw out a little simple pumpkin. I just do the curve all the way around, making the pumpkin shape. And then I go in and then I add just 2 lines on each side, keeping everything nice and simple. So with this one, when it came down to doing the lines, at the very top of this one when I first started, I accidentally had a little too much product on the brush. So for that first line, I just used some of the product that was already sitting there without adding more to my brush and tried to drag a little bit of it out instead of adding more to where it would just kind of spill into each other. Then I'm just taking a clean brush and trying to get as much glitter away from that side wall on the nail, so that way when I do my top coat, I don't accidentally stick it there. And then I do go in with, this is the Young Nails top coat. It's the Ultimate Finish Gel, so it's a no wipe top coat. And I just make sure I get everything covered nice and evenly with a thin layer. And with the glitter ones, you do want to be careful and check that there's no glitter sticking to your brush before you put it back in the bottle. Otherwise, it's just going to keep coming out and contaminating other fingernails that you don't want that color glitter to be on. So I just continue covering all of the nails with this top coat, and they will go into the lamp for a full 60-second cure. And when they come out, I usually do a second top coat, especially on a glitter nail. Not so much the other ones unless it has a lot of art to it, but you'll see me right here, I'm checking to see if it's still really bumpy. These ones weren't as bumpy as normally they come out to be, but I still do a second layer just to be safe. And if they're still bumpy after, you can always take a buffer to it and then clean it off with some alcohol. So this again will go back into the lamp for another full 60 seconds. And then when they come out, you will see I take an alcohol soaked wipe and I just wipe off the side walls of the nail really well for any loose glitter that is still stuck to the skin or anything that just doesn't want to stay on. Next, I'm just going in with some cuticle oil. This one's by Young Nails. It is the rose oil, and I give the client an option to use lotion if they want. And then we set up for our pictures. So this is how everything turned out. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.